Hey, this is your real estate ninja, Soomin Kim, and today's topic I'm going to be tackling the question that I get more than any other question. The answers that you're looking for and how I get builders and other agents to allow me to film their property. Now, if you're on here, you're perhaps wanting to mirror or mimic or find inspiration how you might be able to do something similar for your own business. And I think that's smart. It's obviously paid off really well for me, and I'm here to be of value and be someone that can share a little bit more about how you can implement that into your business. Now, let me give you, before I begin, a little bit of the reasoning behind I went the way I did. Now, I realize that there's a lot of realtors out there that are putting out content that's informational based, data driven. I mean, we're talking about market reports, we're talking about the cost of living, pros and cons. These are all wonderfully effective and make great value for audience and those interested in your marketplace when it comes to the real estate needs. But I know for a fact that as humans, most of us are more emotionally driven than data driven. I can't think of anything more emotional than a home. This is a place where you're gonna celebrate memories with your family. This is a place where you're gonna call as a place of a haven for safety. This is a place where your kids are going to grow up. This is a place where you're gonna spend the majority of your life in this home. That's very emotional. So knowing this aspect of our human psychology, our psyche, when it comes to homes, I thought, how much more effective would it be to show something that moves people more emotionally than it does more psychologically with data. And so the truth is you need both. But what I've come to do is I'm gonna do 80% plus emotionally driven to show people homes and 20% data driven with information and statistics. What I see as a problem is there's too much of it on the other end where it's flipped. 80% of people just talking, giving data, giving statistics, and showing very little homes. What I have found that what goes more viral, what grabs people's more attention and interest are homes. And when that grabs their interest, they will then circumvent to find more information from you about the data. So in essence, I lead with homes, and I encourage you to do the same. So let's talk about how I do it. You're probably here saying, all right, Soomin, I get it, I agree. How do you go about doing it? How do you get access? Now, I want to preface by saying this to you. Everyone should build their business. Everyone should have a protocol that works for them in the area that they're in. So essentially what I'm saying is the way I do it might not be the best case or best use case for you to do it in your area. So I can only share with you my experience, my philosophy, some of my techniques, but you definitely want to be someone that is able to adjust that to your marketplace, to the rules and the jurisdictions of wherever you're in. So don't take this as a means of me training you. I'm just sharing with you on how I go about doing it the way that I do. So remember this, the more production you have, the more respect you will gain from colleagues and builders, and the more access you will have. So I'd imagine if you're on here and you're already a very high producing agent, you're probably gonna already have the respect of your colleagues, you're gonna have the respect of builders, so they're gonna give you more access. But if you're on here and you're new and you're like, Soomin, I'm brand new, I don't have any production or very little, I don't have any respect, therefore I have very little access. This is where I'm gonna share with you a little bit about how I got things going before I started getting the production and the access to do what I do today. So let me start with a story. And now I grew up in California. I'm a huge Laker fan, and even at a young age, they used to play in the stadium or an arena called, at the time it was called the Great Western Forum, also known as the Fabulous Forum. It was a smaller, an older venue. Today it's used for concerts, and it's no longer a venue for the Lakers to play, but this is the place where I would go to watch Laker games with my brother when we were younger. We're talking like 12, 13 years old. Now, there was a door that was behind a certain concession stand, and it was behind a beer concession stand, and there was always a door there that we knew about on the specific section. And one day my brother and I decided to open that door, and we were met with a stairwell. And the stairwell, we would go down it and open another door, and the next thing you know, we were under what they call the tunnel, which is essentially where the players came in from, which where the celebrities would come in from. And there was a couple security agents there that really didn't pay too much mind to us, and we were just there. We had experiences with Diana Ross, Mike Piazza, Diane Cannon, Jack Nicholson. You can think of every celebrity, and we met them all because we always ended up in this tunnel. Now, the fun thing about that is it always looked like we knew where we were going. So when you saw these two little kids and we came in, we didn't ask anyone if we were allowed to be there. We didn't ask if it's okay if we go through this door. We just went through it and we walked through it like we knew where we were going. And because of that type of mindset or that attitude, or at least the direction and intention, we ended up in the most private of areas. We were in areas where hanging out with Magic Johnson as little kids in these special parts of the Forum. And that was a story that I want to share, the philosophy behind it, and it's really simply this: that if you look like you know where you're going, if you look like you're going somewhere with attention and intention, and you look like you belong and it feels like you belong, I've learned that very little people stop you. The reason I bring this story up is because the question I get asked the most is, Soomin, who did you ask to allow you to do that? Did you ask this person and said it's okay? Did you? And the truth be told, no. I just did it. And I'm not saying that's best use case for everyone, but for me in the beginning, I showed up with my iPhone, I saw a home, and I filmed it. So oftentimes in the beginning, when I would show up to see a home, I would just film it. If I was met with a sales counselor, I'd say, good to meet you. My name is Soomin Kim. If you don't mind, I'm gonna shoot this home for some of my clients that are more remote. If that's okay, I'm gonna shoot this home real quickly because I wanna show my audience and my clients this particular home because I know they'd be interested and they'd love it. And I would just do it, and I wouldn't stop for an answer. I would just say what I'm gonna do, and I would do it. And more times than not, they let me do it, right? So ultimately, what the philosophy behind this in the beginning is, if you ask too many questions, you're gonna put them in a place where they have to give you an answer. And when they give you an answer, they're always gonna fish for something that is going to be based upon protocols, based upon this. And to truth be told, most of them don't care. Most of them want you to go expose this home because it's gonna bring them more sales. So the philosophy behind this is go with intention, go with the idea that you're gonna get this done, and have an attitude and a posture that you're going there and you've done this before. The more you're unsure, the more you ask if it's okay, the more the more questions you ask, the more obstacles and barriers you're gonna be met with. Now this is, I believe, is a life training as much as it is a training for those of you that are going out there and looking for content to film and put on YouTube. Now, I'm certainly not encouraging to do anything that goes anyone's protocol or any builder's protocol, but what I am saying that there's something that comes with confidence, posture, and intention. In any type of meeting with anyone else, the more certain individual always wins. So when I approached what I wanted to do in my business in the beginning, I had a lot of intention and a lot of posture of what I was gonna get done. And in fact, every time I met with a builder and I let them know what I was looking to do, they actually welcomed me and they got out of my way and say, do what you gotta do. So another strategy that I utilize when I look at resale homes, where I see homes on the market that I would like to share with my audience, I reach out to the listing agent. And I reach out to the listing agent and say, hey, this is Soomin Kim, I'm a realtor. I have a lot of out-of-state clients. I have a lot of remote clients. They're very much interested in this listing. Would it be okay if I came by and I shot this home, or I filmed the inside, or I did a walkthrough for them? And that approach, I've had many people welcome me, and I've had some people not respond. But ultimately, I'm here to work in collaboration with these agents to go and procure a possible buyer, and that's everything they want as well. So I built a great relationships with some great luxury listing agents, and the moment they have a listing, they call me first and say, Soomin, will you come down and film this and get this out to your audience? Let's get more eyeballs on this. And that's a great aspect of what I do and some of the advantages that you get once you have a base, some respect, and some production under your belt, you're gonna get more access, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Now, certainly there are variables with this method. You know, there's different builders, different personalities, different agents. If you partner with me and you're a part of my team, obviously this is something that we can work through on the case-by-case basis. Now, let me tell you the power of filming homes. The power of showing off homes is that you can raise the level of your clientele simply by the homes that you show off. So in other words, if I'm showing off $300,000 homes, there will be a psychological alignment from the audience that me as a realtor can be competent and facilitate a home for $300,000. Whether it be a listing, whether it be someone that's looking in that range for a budget, they align me to that home and that range based upon what I'm showing. So in the beginning of my business, I would do that. My range was right around 350 to 450. I would show off homes that I felt comfortable showing off because I felt like I can have an audience that would be able to afford these homes. So I began testing it myself and said, let me raise that range. So I started showing off homes that are a little bit higher range, 650 to 750s. And lo and behold, people began calling me, asking, and their budget began to change to a little bit higher. And I pressed that philosophy even harder and said, let me show off the 7-figure homes and see what that does. And I did exactly that. And guess what happened? Yes, people started calling me and needing help with the budget in the 7 figures. So the power of filming homes is that the audience or the person viewing them begins to align your competency to that range of home to which you're showing. So in other words, it helps you to create your own avatar, your ideal client, the range that you want to be working with. Now, this doesn't always work exactly the way you would want it to, but for me in my experience, the more homes I showed off, the higher level of homes I showed off, I began to take on those higher ranges of budgets. And that's the beauty of what we're doing here. You know, part of what I do is that I align myself to the beauty of the home, so it takes the pressure off of me to ask about my experience, my statistics, my production, and it puts me in front of the emotional beauty of what homes are. All right, so how do I get access? What do I say? All these things. Let's recap real quickly. Number one, your posture and your intention will get you pretty far. Too many questions leads to too many roadblocks. Always remember that we are an ally to the builder and to a listing agent. When we show off homes, we're helping to make their job easier, and we're actually helping their own production by getting more eyeballs on this home. So go in with the attitude. We're not here to ask for a favor. We're not here to do any of that. We're actually here to provide a value. So when you have that intention, when you have that posture, they will feel that energy and they will get out of your way. And here's some last action steps and things that I want you to be mindful of. Keep your setup minimal so you take as least amount of time to get this done. You definitely won't want to go to a listing. You don't want to go to a home and spend an hour or two there. If you can get it done specifically within 15 to 30 minutes, that's going to help you to get more done. It's going to be less abrasive to the process if there's other people looking at the home. And it's simply just an easier way to get in and get out and get what you need and go on. So keep your setup as minimal as you like. I have a video on that. All right, so hopefully that gives you an idea. It gives you some tips and it helps you to begin this process of getting access for you filming your home tours. Now, if you're part of my team, if you're partnering with me, I have templates for you. I have scripts for you, and these are things that I'm gonna provide for you. So if you're interested in it all and being a part of what I'm doing here and building an army of people building their real estate business in this manner, go ahead and reach out to me. I'll put all my contact here. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video so you can be alerted to all the new content. I love to work with you. I love to connect with you. I'm here to help you guys. This is your Real Estate Ninja, Soomin Kim, and I will see you on the next video.